Hello there, welcome to today's video. As you can tell, the quality is now upped quite a bit since recently I've just moved on to Oculus Quest 2. So far I'm personally thinking it's an enjoyable experience, and anyway, today's video I'm going to be going over how to make a rather somewhat simple table out using cube, maybe implementing bits of tube possibly, but then first off I'm going to be showing you how to build the table, then afterwards I'm going to show you how to add some decorative pieces to add on after. Starting off, what we're going to do is we're going to look at our watch, press backpack, and using the maker pen. We grab our maker pen, look at the top, and now press open palette. Selecting cube. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change our texture to maybe to a wood grain, and then I'm going to change mine. I'm going to start with a white wood grain, and we have our cube here. Close down the palette for now. Take flight if you need to, and starting off, I'm going to start with some legs for this table. So you can have it whatever width you want. You can sometimes just change it up a bit if you wish. So I must speed up this bit where I make the legs. Now we have our legs. What we're going to do now is we're going to start off with the next piece, which is with another cube. We're just going to sort of grab it from the corner, and then we're just going to stretch it along. Right, now I know this may look rather dull. Don't worry. What you can actually do though is you can either keep it like that, or you can stretch it along. Just have these around the edges, sort of thing, more or less. So let's grab this across, drag it across like that. Because what we're actually going to be using is I'm going to be using glass in the middle, or maybe even a textured piece if I wish. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to keep cloning this. I'm going to flip this around real quick and drag this across to the side. I want to try and angle this out to the end so it's even, and make sure to manipulate. So manipulate that now. I'm going to clone it again and just bring it straight across. Like that. Don't worry about this little glitching pieces here, as you can tell at times. You can fix that, just manipulate it around to fix it. Or change the textures and you fix that. What we've now done is we've made a basic frame for a table. What I'm going to do now though is I'm going to add some little extra details around the corners. Sometimes for extra details, maybe you want to add a little strip of wood across. So let's just angle it like that. And manipulate along. Just the other side. Now if we want to clone this, we can clone it along again and just move it along. Now we can proceed to do this other side. So what we want to do is we're going to clone it, select rotate, flip it, press move, and simply drag it across. Center it like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drag this in inwards like that and just cut off the end by manipulating it, so it's now within there. Press clone, move along, just drag it back along. Now the design I thought of probably, what I'm going to do is between this thin little layer here and the top part, I'm going to actually have some glass around there. And the top, I'm just going to have some cool pattern, maybe using tube or somewhat. To get our glass, what we're going to want to do is we're going to open our palette yet again, go to search, and search glass. Now we've got a glass. You can change the opacity by configuring it and such, but for now I'm going to use the default color. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag that across like that, angle it in just so it fits within with the glass. It does. Make sure the glass is fitted in, and let's manipulate this across. What I'm going to do is manipulate that across, bring that up. Bring it in. What we're going to do is we're going to clone it again. Cloning is basically your best friend here, since practically everything even. So there you go. Oh, stop with that. Simply yet again, just clone it, flip it, move it, and just drag it into place. At times again, you will have to manipulate, of course. So manipulate that around like that. Yeah, again, we're going to clone it and drag it to the other side. Now for the top part, as I said, I'm going to try using tube, since I'm not the best for tube, but I'm going to attempt to see what I can make using tube. My settings for the tube is I'm going to turn off smooth tubes and have my tube facets to 4, so as you can tell this, I have it like a square, and I'm going to turn on uniform shapes, therefore allow me to get a nice straight line. Another thing I might suggest doing is also on here, you can change your position stamp to maybe a 5, 10, I tend to use 5 for going into straight lines, so let's just go straight across with 5. So at times, be careful of the palette, since the palette does get in the way. It's a bit irritating, but you just sort of drag it across in. So drag it down a tad. There you go. And what we can simply just do is you can just simply clone it again. Move them close together, sort of thing, almost, as off. Sometimes maybe keep a little crack down the side. That makes it look a bit more interesting, so must be this bit up here, me cloning it. Now we've finished cloning it all. As you can tell, it's had a nice little effect to it. What we can now do though is we can move on to colouring. Using the wood grain material is my personal preference. If you really wanted, you could even use rubber floor, glossy plastic, or even brick, to be honest, but personally I like the wood grain, and I'm going to change up the wood colour to maybe a black. So let's change this bit to a black. This black is kind of harsh, so I'm going to sort of maybe lighten up to maybe a grey. Another thing you can also do is you can also colour the glass. So let's colour the glass. As I also related back to it at the beginning of the video, configure it. You can actually change the opacity. So let's check up the opacity to maybe a 10. See what that's like. That's probably quite harsh, but you can tell you can't quite see through, but mess around with the opacity so you can find something that's good. Let's go with a 5. Let's change that to a 5. Just a 5. Go back round. Turn them all to a 5. Turn the final piece to a 5. Now we're done with our table. We can now decorate it, add other pieces to it. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I've finished decorating it. I've added a couple of like plants, maybe pieces of work paper, books, a drink, and of course some cookies. Now this is basically ready to be put in a room or a dorm, whatever, or even uploaded as an invention. Anyways, if today's video can be useful, why not give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I'm going to head out now, and I'll see you guys in the next video.